Camera? You're recording me right now? That's weird.
It's right at you. It's okay. All right, so here is our little activity for today. The district, as you probably know, has an emphasis on safety and security this year. And part of that safety and security is learning how to deal with one another. So that piece of paper I gave you is actually something that you could use for the rest of your life. It's really an excellent practice to get into. I know, it hurts. I know. I get how, if you could put your phone away, that'd be outstanding. Just for a second. I get how when you're with your friends, you know, nobody's following a formula and nobody's being ultra polite necessarily because we're all having fun with our friends. But I mean, even you could extrapolate this all the way to like marriage someday and how you deal with your spouse. And so what this statement is called an I statement. And it's a statement when you have a problem with someone, how you let them know you have a problem with them without dumping onto them. So instead of saying, you're like this and you're like that and you did this to me, which just creates conflict. I mean, I just had conflict yesterday in my third period class, right? I mean, two girls were so unhappy with one another, and they were seniors, that the counselors had to get involved in middle class, literally. So it's not unusual, and the idea is that if you learn how to resolve your conflicts in an organized way, I guess, or a professional way, then you're less likely to incite someone else into whatever harm they might be thinking of inflicting, even if it's verbal or on Facebook or whatever. You're trying to minimize that by these statements. So this is really important to Mr. Page, and I'm just going to kind of demonstrate to you what I mean, and then it'll be almost time for the fire drill. But let's say, instead of saying, you guys, you never listen to me, you treat advice like garbage, and it's really an important class and you should be paying attention, right? Automatically, if I were you, I'd be all kind of defensive about that, thinking, whatever, because I don't like advice and I don't really understand why I'm here. So instead, I could say, I feel kind of like frustrated when people are on their phones. I understand where you're coming from, but I feel frustrated because I'm told that I have to do this with you, and there's some really important information. So I guess I feel that way because I'm trying my best and it's not really working. So maybe you could just tell me what would make it better in here for you. You see how that's a better approach than me saying, you guys, come on, listen, it's advisement, it's important stuff. Instead, which just dumps it all on you, it doesn't make it my problem too. So if I have a problem with you, then I use I a lot, and I say, I feel this way, I get frustrated, I think it's because I'm coming from this direction instead of you and your cell phone. So, I don't know, if you get that? Here's another one. How about, hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
How about, I am so frustrated with the parking situation. I know that the problem was that with student safety, there were literally kids almost getting hit almost on a daily basis. So because of that, they have to react. You know, safety and security is a district priority, so they have to act. I understand that. I feel so frustrated about it because I don't know how much earlier I can leave in the morning to beat that mess. I already leave my house at 6:30 because I live in Larkspur. And so this morning I left at 6:25 and I still didn't beat the cones into the parking lot. So I feel like there wasn't really accurate communication for the teachers on how early I had heard that 7:05, we could still get here and get in our regular pathway, but I got coned in to the lot, and so I realized, I guess that's my problem, I should wake my son up at 5:50 instead of 6 a.m., but I don't know, it's just hard, so I'm having a hard time dealing with it right now. So, that's what I would say. That's what I would say. Instead of, dang it, man, these guys, they suck. What are they doing this for? I don't understand. So you get and I understand this isn't probably a practice you'll take on a regular basis with people in the hallway. I get that. But if you have a huge conflict, like they stole my boyfriend, or you have a huge conflict with a teacher, or you have a huge conflict with a counselor, and these things are going to happen your senior year more than anything, and you guys are adults. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you're adults. And to learn how to talk that way to your college professors, to learn how to talk that way to your boss, and then finally someday to your partner, it just saves you a lot of grief. It just makes the other person a lot less defensive. Anybody have any comments or questions about the parking situation today? We've got a video rolling. You can let them know how it went for you this morning.
I come in after second off, do I not have to do that?
Correct. They take the cones down by 7:45, 7:50.
So they're not out during lunch either?
Not during lunch either.
On the way out?
On the way out, they will have the cones up until 3 o'clock. So 2:50 to 3 o'clock, the cones will be up.
So do like people who are picking up their kids from school, where do they pick them up their top?
The top. They're only allowed into the top now.
But if people get there before 2:50, then how does that work if the cones aren't there?
I bet they will be there, but I bet they'll start putting them out at 2:30. So, sorry, I was just quoting them. Huh?
Just gonna have them for 2 weeks?
They will make adjustments after 2 weeks if necessary, but they're gonna figure out a way to keep parent drivers and kids diving in front of those drop-offs separate. You guys are gonna be separated no matter what. But they do, they talked about extra turn lane. I noticed that wasn't in effect yet this morning, but they talked about extra turn lane into the student line, all that. Yeah? Okay, thanks for listening, guys. This was fantastic. They're going to do a fire drill in a second, and I do have to take attendance
Do I
out
have to come
there.
back after the fire drill?
You do not. So we'll take our things, but I do have to take attendance out there, guys. So what we do is we go out our classroom door. Hey, one last thing. We go out the classroom door and turn right. We don't go out the front of the school like the rest of the school. Performing arts, they send out a different way. And then we meet at the tennis court steps. Tennis court steps. Okay? Thank you.
I feel, this is self-disclosure.